What's going on? Where are we?
Oh, geez, so many questions. Well, for starters, you're in the cage. But I'm afraid no one really knows anything else about it.
It's like I've wandered into a video game. Actually, wasn't there a mobile game that looked like this? I think it was called Reincarnation. Are you alright? I feel like this black thing might be important.
Yes, right. Silly mama. We need to deal with the dark scarecrow here. Your job is to restore the past that's recorded inside this scarecrow. There's no bread for slackers in this world, so hop to it now! Chop chop!
Restore the past? What does that even mean? What the heck?
Lips draw tight in an attempt to mask uneasy eyes. A wavy-haired girl gazes up at the towering building before her. It smells sweetly of old books, worn paper, cracked leather. As the girl moves, she wonders if she has somehow found her way into one of her childhood cradle tales. This is a school for youngsters who show promising aptitude in the ways of Magick. The professor gives her a pamphlet outlining the day's schedule. It also contains her first lesson. A handful of simple spells she is expected to master. A feast of almost unbelievable bounty awaits the new students in the dining hall. Partway through the hall, she encounters a shy, bespectacled student, crying softly to herself. It seems some cruel boys have stolen her dinner. "Don't worry," says the new girl. "I'll get it back for you." She and the other girl make their way to the end of the dining hall. There, they find the boys clutching stolen heels of bread. Vile sneers spread wide across their faces. "Give it back," says the girl. Here I go. The girl thinks for a moment. Then she decides to teach the boys a lesson, using one of the magics from her pamphlet. But the spell is all flash and dazzle, and the laughing boys easily repel it. The girl gives the spiky-haired boy a brief thanks, even though she felt the issue was well in hand. The boy smiles proudly and rushes off to rejoin the feast. Having so recently been peeled from their families, every heart in the room is filled with unease. But the smell of good, warm food causes all tension to melt away. The three exchange bashful glances, embarrassed at the way they all spoke at once. Each one feels part of something larger than themselves, almost as if they were starting a new family.
I get it now. So you're saying the thing I saw was a record of the past? In that case, I clearly need to defeat the dark enemies in my way in order to restore it.
Oh, jeez, you figured that out so fast! It's almost scary how clever you are.
Can I return to Tokyo if I defeat all the dark bad guys?
Oh, who knows? Let's just keep going and find out. We need to clear this black wall out of the way. Just do the same thing you did last time.
Here I go. Aw, come on. Here I go.
Ooh, someone has a message from a friend!
My phone is working again. Wait, no. It's still messed up.
I'd love to help, but I just don't know a thing about technology. Oh dear, look at all these jail cells. Well, one of these is clearly our way forward, so let's have a look around.
That should do it.
You certainly seem to have a good handle on how to deal with these dark foes.
It's not so hard once you get the hang of it.
Life at school had remained relatively unchanged throughout the long years. The once young girl now grows ever closer to adulthood. The bell rings out, signaling the start of the day, and she picks up her pace as she runs down the hall. A bespectacled student calls out to her, the same one she attempted to rescue all those long years ago. Though she has matured in many ways, she remains as shy as ever. The professor gazes out across the room and begins her lecture. Pledges are a long-held custom for our kind. They allow two who are close to form a pair and pass their magics to each other. Once a pair affirms their feelings for one another, they seal the contract with an avowal ring. The day of pledging draws near, and you will all be able to participate if you so desire. The students have heard much about this ritual and murmur excitedly as the professor adjourns class. A group of boys slowly walk up to the girl with the wavy hair and offer her gifts of adoration. The girl's mature aura had been garnering popularity for some time, but she has no interest in forming a contract with the boys and quickly brushes them aside. Here I go. I got this. But then, another student walks in to take their place. It is the spiky-haired boy who shared a meal with the two girls when they were younger. That day led to a friendship between the three that only grew stronger as the years went by. The boy teases the wavy-haired girl, calling her cruel for discarding all of her suitors with such haste. Though playful, she finds his taunts to be irritating. But she knows reacting to them will only make her the subject of further ridicule. bespectacled girl stifles a laugh at her friend's affectionate bickering. But this sits poorly with the other girl, who whirs around and asks a single question of her friend. The laughter dies, and after a long moment of serious consideration, she finally gives a halting answer. I don't know. I guess I haven't really thought about it. Their conversation is cut short by the ringing of another bell. "We're going to be late," says the bespectacled girl as she bolts from the lecture hall. A confused eddy of feelings whirl about in the other girl's heart. But she can only watch as her friends walk away.
People sure are complicated. Why can't they just say what they mean and be done with it?
Anyway, I'll be able to go back home if I keep doing this, right?
Here I go. Easy now. Here I go.
Ooh, a light! Let's head there.
What's wrong with the moon?
Oh, right. See, the moon once held a very special power, but now it's just sort of, broken?
How do you break a moon? Oh, right.
Ooh, let me see, let me see!
Let's keep moving. Giant towers and a broken moon? That's enough surprises for one day.
Ooh, but I love surprises! Don't you have surprises where you come from?
I mean, probably. I've always been too focused on my own goals to worry about that kind of thing.
Such a hard worker! Oh, I bet you never get lost like poor Mama here. Oh my...
You have a baby?
The name's Babe, pal, and don't you forget it. And don't go calling me Baby Boo or Cuddle Bug, or some crap like that. It's Babe. Got it?
Oh Lord, if word gets out that I brought my child to work, I am done for.
On the day of pledging, the city is resplendent with all manner of decorations and colors. The sight causes the wavy-haired girl to practically bounce up and down with excitement. Hurry, she calls to her friends. Let's go before the shops close. Smiling, she leads her friends through the streets. Enticed by the sparkle of the goods, the girl suggests they visit a nearby accessory stall. With their bespectacled friend called away, the boy and girl suddenly find themselves alone. "Let's get going," she says, trying desperately to control the quiver in her voice. "I can't let him know how fast my heart is beating." Thoughts and emotions swirl inside the girl like a maelstrom. With all of her senses on the highest of alert, she does not even realize how fast she is moving. The two finally arrive at the pledging plinth, their figures silhouetted by the setting sun. The girl speaks first. She removes an avowal ring from an inner pocket, the same one used to seal a pledge. Silence stretches out. A moment, an hour, an age. Finally, the boy shakes his head. The girl's heart is immediately drowned in an ocean of despair. Here I go. You're okay. The boy manages to form a kind of base apology, his head hanging low all the while. "I'm sorry," he says. "I never meant to hurt you. But I'm going to make a pact with our best friend." Vision blurs, sound roars. Without even realizing it, the girl begins to run, hoping that will somehow stop her tears. When she finally comes to, it is dark. The throngs of people mere suggestions in the shadow. At the sound of approaching footsteps, she turns around. Her friend has returned, none the wiser as to what has transpired. The innocent question pricks at the girl's heart like a thorn. You were my friend. I told you everything. You kept this from me the entire time. Bewildered, the bespectacled girl attempts to form a response. No, he doesn't understand. He doesn't know. Her lips tremble. Her breath halts. He doesn't know I love you. And in the face of this unexpected confession, the wavy-haired girl can only stand and stare.
So, what's going on? The girl liked the boy, but he liked someone else, and then...
This is why relationships are never worth the trouble.
Here I go. I got this. Here I go. Easy now.
Hey, so this job...
Cram it with walnuts, pal. Ain't nobody gave you permission to speak to Mama.
Now, babe, it's all right. Yuzuki is a nice young man. We like Yuzuki.
I'm sorry, Mumsy.
His voice seems quite mature for a baby.
Oh, don't I know it. He had to grow up fast to make up for my scatterbrained ways. And now for an important announcement. When you fix 4 instances of the past, you'll get paid! So that means you only need, Sorry, which scarecrow is this again?
Number 4.
Ah, right. Oh, I swear I would forget my head if it wasn't screwed on.
The wavy-haired girl is stunned. She thought her friends were going to betray her by pledging themselves to each other. But instead, her bespectacled friend has confessed feelings for her. I went out with him once because I didn't know how to get out of it, whispers the bespectacled girl. But it was you. It was always you. The wavy-haired girl is confused, bewildered, overwhelmed. All she can think to do is escape. I hate you, she cries as she flees. I wish you would both just disappear forever. For the next 3 days, the girl barely eats or sleeps. Her heart aches with regret. Regret that she allowed her emotions to run roughshod. Regret at the horrible things she had said. On the day of pledging, the air in the school is heavy and thick. The professor clears her throat. She lists the students who have pledged themselves to each other. But the girl's friends are nowhere to be found. She watches blankly as one pair after another walk past with joy on their faces. But no matter how much time passes, her friends do not arrive. The professor is clearly troubled by this development. Knowing how close the 3 are, she asks the girl to search for them. As she runs, the girl comes to a realization. As long as they can both be happy, nothing else matters. She decides then and there to apologize to her friends, and to do all she can to support whatever decision they arrive at. Finally, she comes to a door held fast by a strange magic. Concerned, she quickly dispels it and proceeds inside. The boy lies before her. His body is cold and still. Here I go. How dare you! The cause of his death is unknown, but as no magic art can revive him, a funeral is held the following day. The boy lies in his casket. His death is a mystery, and the bespectacled girl has vanished without a trace. The wavy-haired girl had wished them both away in a moment of rage, and now it had come to pass. If only she had supported them. If only she'd never loved the boy. If only. If only. If only. As regret clamps its cold fingers around her heart, she whispers 4 words to whatever god might be listening.
Those friends became a family in order to soothe each other's loneliness. But in the end, she's more alone than ever. In any case, you're doing great so far. Oh, and remember how I said you'll be paid? We'll need to gather Luna fragments to fix the moon, and here's your first one!
First one? Look, I appreciate whatever this is, but I can't stick around much longer.
You should just be thankful Mama's helping you, pal. Now show some freaking respect.
Don't threaten the poor child, babe. Also, Yuzuki, you may feel differently if we just keep going.
Huh? TVs. These are the same kinds of TVs we have.
Think, Yuzuki. Remember, this is your own...
The scent of books fills the library of an urban high school. A boy's eyes race across the pages of a complicated technical manual. The only sounds are the scrape of his finger across paper and the faint cries of students outside. The library is a place apart. It is his sanctuary, his peace. But not on this day. The chatter of the other students fills the boy with annoyance. Unable to bear the shattered order of things, the boy closes the book and abandons his study. Casting a scathing glance at the other students, he exits the library without a word. The words and actions of his classmates serve to increase his loneliness, but he is used to it. He walks down the cold and sterile hallway of a hospital, one he has visited times beyond counting. The clinical scent of antiseptic calms his soul. The room is completely silent, save for the constant beep of an electrocardiogram. The woman in the bed is his mother. And though she is dead to the world, he slowly begins to tidy her room. He replaces the wilted flowers in the vase with a fresh and vibrant bouquet that smells of spring. They are violets, his mother's favorite, and she was delighted to see them when she was admitted. She suffers from a chronic heart condition that sees her constantly in and out of hospitals. He pulls back the curtain, letting warm sunlight spill into the room. "No, Mother," he says as she attempts to sit up. "Just rest." Her ex-husband, the boy's father, had pushed the already brittle woman to her breaking point. A torn photograph of a family lies discarded on the floor. It shows him with his parents, an older sister, who had gone to live with their father after the divorce. The photo is all that remains of that fleeting moment of happiness. His straightening finished, the boy goes to his mother's side. His heart clenches in his chest as he looks down on her grateful expression. His father had beaten his mother more times than he could count. The abuse was so severe, his mother could no longer stand. She had provided him with so much happiness when he was a child. He puts all that he can into his studies so he might become a doctor and find a way to cure her. So he now devotes his life to her. Mom. Was that my past? How in the world?
You know what? I've got an idea. You know how you managed to restore the past in the Scarecrows? Well, I bet you can use that same trick to change your own past.
What? Do you promise?
You bet I do. Well, so long as you manage to fix the moon, that is.
Fine. just need to collect more of those Luna fragments, right?
You really are such a nice young man, you!
Stop it. I'm going to collect every last one of those fragments.
I knew Mama could count on you! Now come on! So much to do!